Hey there, it's me Red Knight and welcome back to Heyday. And it's time to introduce Rose, one of those gorgeous helpers up on the cliff face. Now the reason I can use her for the next 72 hours is because I've got some boosters, and I do like the boosters. So let's go and see. Well, there's Rose and Ernest sitting there relaxing, enjoying their partial retirement. Now occasionally they do a little bit of work for me around the farm and I reward them nicely. Their rent for their house is very reasonable as well, and they enjoy a comfortable life. Now the great thing about Rose and Ernest is that they do a lot of things, whether it's feeding my animals, whether it's actually collecting certain resources. I like them a lot, and you do have the ability to pick and choose their actual function as well. Now working together they are fantastic, but if you're working one character by itself it's much more challenging. Now make sure you do go into the actual help information and then read through what it says there, because it will give you a lot more details. Now if you do want to hire Rose, you can actually use diamonds within the game. You've got a choice to do it, or what you can do is use some of your boosters. Now I kind of like the boosters. Free boosters for me are much more comfortable, and as you can see there I've got 2 Rose boosters, so I'm going to be using one of those for the next 72 hours. And in fact, since making this video I've gained a 3rd Rose booster, so I'm rather pleased about this as well. So I can continue to use her for 72 hours times 3. Yeah, and she's going to be doing so much, but I do have to make sure I keep her stocked with the items that she needs to do her job. Well, do I want to activate it? Absolutely. Now once you've activated her, up comes her menu. Now for you guys, you'll see there you've got a little exclamation mark or a settings wheel on the left hand side. Now that's really important. Go into that one and then you can pick and choose one of the 3 options that she will actually do for you. Now for me, I think it's very important to feed all of my animals and to keep extra feed. Now keeping extra feed is great. It means that she's actually using my stock from my silo, she's making feed, and that's there ready when she needs it, and I don't have to worry at all. So I usually make sure I've ticked that. Now because of my level as well, I'm actually able to have 100. Now depending on your level will depend on the amount of items that she can actually make and store. Now for me the most important thing is the milk, so I'm going to probably do about 25 of those. The rest I'm not so worried too much about because I do use them, but the milk is probably the greatest requirement or the greatest need. So 20 of the others is totally fine. 20 eggs, 20 of the wool, 20 of the bacon, and 15 of the actual goat's milk. Now I'm not too worried about taking too many eggs, of course. I think because I can find a lot of these eggs in the roadside stall, I don't need to worry too much about having too many produced. So I'm kind of happy that she can just do her basic role. Now one thing I do like about Rose is that she actually does feed your animals, and she also collects them as well. Now I can feed a lot of these animals already, but I don't need to. That's her job now. And if you actually watch the game like we're looking at here, it's almost as though there is something happening within the game that you are not influencing. So if you look very closely, she's already fed my chickens, she's feeding my goats for me at the same time, and she's also collecting my actual milk from my cows, and it's rather cool. The animation that this actually does is really interesting to watch. So there you can see the actual cows being collected one by one. So collected, sliding, fed, and then walking around, and I like it. I must admit that the animation that's gone into making Rose a function within the game and what she does within the game is really cool. Now watching the cows being fed and collecting from their resources is kind of cool, but I must admit my favorite one of all of them has to be the actual pigs. I like actually watching the pigs getting harvested for their product. So the actual fat pig is sitting there on the ground, all of a sudden the baconator comes, they slide across the ground, they're skinny, they slide a little bit further, and all of a sudden they become kind of a little chunky again as they get fed. So watch this as it actually happens. It is super interesting. Now I've been lucky enough to actually experience the inside of a baconator. I actually did this many years ago in Helsinki, and if you ever get to visit the Heyday office, do go and have a look. It's rather heavy and it is kind of cool, and it makes a really good photo, especially if you want to get inside it. Just ask Nick or one of the team to take that photo and you will be set to go. You can be that little piggy. I've also got my own little pig mascot with its own little baconator that was made for me many years ago. So if you would like to make me a game mascot, everybody, that relates to a character, do send it to me. I'm actually starting to build up a good collection now of items that people have sent me within the post, and it really does please me to get things from you guys. So check my address out later on in the end of this video. Now with Rose herself, okay, I don't actually have to do any feed preparation. She's going to actually load up my feed mills and she's going to keep them busy. I can go and look at Rose settings, I can adjust them, I can see what she's got in stock, and you'll see that at the moment some of the stock has been built up already based on what I want, and some of it is in progress. Now if you look at Rose as she walks around, occasionally there's a little speech bubble, and this is the warning to you that something is wrong. Now if it goes red, like there's an exclamation mark, you've got a serious thing to sort out. Usually she's full up, or maybe she's completely out of something, or you are. Now remember that you're not actually using Ernest at the moment, so you've got to be doing the harvesting of crops. You've got to be preparing for her, making sure she's got the resources to be able to do the feed. So that's 72 hours of you providing her certain resources. Now remember, when she gets down to about 10 of a specific feed, she's not going to do any more. But keep your eye out for the speech bubble as she's walking around. Do check your basic stocks. It's the items that you need for the feed that she's specifically interested in, nothing else. If you were doing Ernest, then you would need the sugarcane as an example. But for this young lady, it's the actual soya beans, it's the carrots, it's the wheat, and it's the corn. They are her priorities because that's what she uses to actually make the feed. Now, of all of the feed, remember she's not going to prepare your sanctuary feed. So if you do need to feed your sanctuary animals, you're going to have to actually grow the wheat and then add one of those bundles into the production for the feed mill. Now that will disrupt her actual cycle as well, so you've got to take that into consideration. Once her speech bubble comes up as well, by the way, once you've done what she wants you to do, it will disappear. Right, well that's Rose anyway. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video and a little bit of an explanation there. I think the helpers are a wonderful addition to the game, and I do like the boosters. So if you've got the chance to gain any of these boosters within the game, do get them. And Rose and Ernest, whether by themselves or as a combination, free of charge is always going to be good. Remember, you don't have to spend diamonds on the helpers within the game if you don't want to. It's optional. Now speaking of actually things within the game, I've recently uploaded some new videos to my channel, as you can see from this imagery here. Do go and check them out, in addition to actually sending me some mail in the post. This is my address, of course, here in Japan. If you would like to send me a new mascot or a postcard, please do so, and I will be very happy. For those of you who would like to subscribe to my channel, you just hit the subscription button at the top where the video is actually located, and make sure you hit that notification bell as well. Now I'm off to actually prepare a little bit more for Rose because she needs my help, but I will see you in the game or in my live stream tomorrow. Take care, have fun, and happy farming everybody. Goodbye all.